Well, hello, welcome back to the art room. I'm really glad you could make it today. Today we're going to talk about mask making, all different kinds of masks. It seems like you see masks everywhere, from superheroes to musical theater, kabuki masks from Japan, anime characters, African masks, even King Tut and his mighty mask. I'm going to show you some great ways to make masks from paper at your house. Here's one I made with three-dimensional paper techniques. I'll be showing you about that. Another one with the same 3D paper techniques. We'll talk about how to make masks out of construction paper, like this little goofy guy. And at the end, we'll get into making maybe a couple of superhero masks from foil paper, like this guy. And then finally, we'll talk about him at the end. It's going to be a great episode all about mask making, so I hope you'll stick with us today in the art room. Okay, let's get started making masks. I've had a great week preparing for this. I've made so many masks. I started off with white paper, experimenting with some of these great paper sculpture techniques that I'm going to show you in a minute. If you saw the show that we made about the cities of the future, you already know a little bit about some of these ways to bend and manipulate paper. I made this guy first. Here's a little tiny guy I made just for fun. I could never put that on my face, but he was just kind of a weird little guy. This one I really like for some reason. He's just got a lot of character. He's kind of a bigger mask out of white paper again. The white paper is kind of fun. It's got a look all of its own. Yet another one that I made here, white paper mask. I like this guy too. He's got kind of a superhero look about him. I think it's his strong chin and this kind of a mask-like thing going across his eyes. And then I switched over to construction paper for a bit, made a cat mask, made this funny little chap wearing glasses. Then I couldn't resist making an alien. With the alien, I used some of this foil paper that I'll show you in a minute, foil poster board that I found. That's really a neat look. And then finally at the end, then I started making some superhero guys, kind of one of my own guys. You may recognize a couple of these other characters. We'll talk about them in a minute, also with the foil poster board that I made. So, any kind of mask that you'll be making, it's really just about the same how you're going to begin. I've got some white drawing paper that I'm going to use. This is just my regular paper that I've used for everything that I've shown you all through the videos. Here's that colored poster board that I found, this beautiful foil poster board. It's gorgeous. I got it from the Hobby Lobby again. It's called Renewing Minds poster board, assorted metallic poster board. It comes in all kinds of great colors. Wow, and we'll use a little bit of that later. And then I've got my standard construction paper that I use, and I use that for that little pink guy that I made that I showed you a minute ago, that little guy with the mustache. So, step one, we'll decide really what kind of a character you want to make, and what character you're going to make, of course, is going to determine what direction you turn your paper. If I'm doing a kind of a wide cat or a pig or something that requires a wide face, cartoon character, I might go the wide direction. If I'm going to be more of a regular tried and true mask, I'd probably start off going the tall direction. So that's where I'm going to start you off first. I'm going to take a piece of white paper and I'm going to fold it in half the tall way. Okay, so at this point I've already got a place where I can put some glue flaps. And here again, do you have a specific idea for the shape of your head right off the bat, or this? I'm just going to make kind of a generic sort of a head to start with. Okay, just going to sketch out half of a head. You wouldn't even have to sketch it out. You could just go right into the cutting phase. So let's cut it while the paper is folded, and we'll have a really good foundation for the start of a head. Okay, good place to start. I'll make a glue flap that I can overlap in a minute, and I'm going to do that here at the bottom. A couple inches of glue flap. Flip it around on top. Make another glue flap with the idea of, let's fold back the other way so we don't see our pencil lines, with the idea of later on I'm going to overlap those flaps and get this terrific three-dimensional start to my mask. Okay, so a lot of my masks don't have eyes. I guess I look at masks as kind of an artwork all by themselves, and I don't need to see through the mask. But if you want to see through your mask, then a good way to do it is to draw just one eye. I'd say about a third of the way down. I'm just going to sketch out an eye. Okay. So I got two ways I can do that. I can cut in like this and remove the eye, but I'll have a slit there. Sometimes I do that though. Or the other way I can do it is to just simply pierce through with my scissors carefully, be careful, and take that eye area out. Okay. Okay, so that gives us two eyes. So we're in good shape. I think what I'll do next then is get a little bit of Elmer's glue, and we're going to go right into making him or her or it, and we don't know who it's going to be yet. And I'll crisscross that flap. I'm lucky I've got a stapler. You may not have a stapler. I'm sorry, I can't send you one. Well, I could. Hey, I need your address. No, anyway, a stapler makes things go a little easier sometimes with this mask making, because we've got some like tricky folds and different things we need to stick down. Okay, so we got kind of a basic foundation for a mask. Okay, we're kind of at a jumping off point. Depending on which way you're going to be heading with your mask, I'm going to try to help you visualize how to make some of these three-dimensional shapes, and then we'll see how they apply to some of these different shapes we can make, like this blue mask. I think I'm going to make him into sort of a superhero fella. Here's an orange piece that I've stapled, and I'm going to make that into more of an animal. And then if you're going to do the middleman at the end, this guy we've been talking about, save that for just a minute and we'll address him in just a minute. But first, let's talk about how to make some wonderful three-dimensional shapes in paper. So when you start something like this, you need a soft magazine or maybe a book. I've got like an old book, great paper sculpture book, by the way. Hey, well, who's that? That's Frankie right there. Yep, he's a cute little guy, isn't he? Anyway, and some white paper or any other paper that you're going to put that shape into. I think I'll do a couple of pieces of different foil papers. Here's some of that terrific foil, but first let's demonstrate just how easy it is to make these terrific shapes out of paper. I like to make, for a mask purpose, I like to do a kind of a mirror image. You notice on my mask everything is symmetrical, everything kind of goes the same direction. I did that on purpose. I wanted my mask to have a real balance. So that means that if I fold my paper, either the fat way or the tall way, if I cut a shape, I can have a mirror image of it times two. Here's what I mean. And you'll also notice that a lot of the times when I'm making these shapes, I'll leave them joined at the center line, kind of like that. Okay, so what I've got here already is kind of a neat accent for an eyebrow, or it could be a big mustache or something like that. To make a three-dimensional shape out of it, I need a pen. So I'll take my pen and I'm going to go with a hard line. If you want to sketch it out first, you can. It's not really necessary, but it might help you kind of visualize it so you don't make a mistake the first time you do it. I'm going to just sketch a center line that goes down through there and try to end it up at the point if you can. You see what I did there? So now with my pen, it's got to be a pen, don't use a pencil. I'm going to really press down hard along that line, hard enough to really make a crease into my paper that I want to sculpt. So that's really what we're doing. We're sculpting paper. So after I've done that, you can probably see that I've made a ridge mark. It's almost like magic. The first time you do this, you'll just be amazed. So if I pinch along that fold line and squeeze, see what I'm doing here? If I pinch along and squeeze, I can make this terrific three-dimensional shape out of it. When these two pieces come together, there's going to be a natural spot where you can pinch it and fold it like that, and that even increases the effect if you can get it to pinch like that. So right away I could take my mask and I could do something like this, like I did on my first mask. Stick that right there if I wanted to. If I wanted to make a mustache, that's probably not a very good mustache, so that might be more of a cool, like upside down, like a walrusy sort of mustache. Okay, so here again, this is where it gets a little tricky trying to hook things together. Sometimes I'll make a little slit to help me. Let me just do that. Make a little slit in the forehead. So I've got a little slit there. I can actually put a little Elmer's glue and stick that shape into the slit like that. Okay, oh, that's pretty neat. And then I'll take my glue, and Elmer's glue is kind of frustrating sometimes because it takes a little bit of time to dry. If you're somebody that's a little bit older, you might consider getting out your glue gun. Glue guns are kind of dangerous when you're little, so I don't really promote them for really young kids. But a glue gun's a wonderful addition if you have access to one and you're careful. Hey, always have your little container of water nearby. I learned that the hard way. So let's make another couple of shapes. Let's do that kind of visor sort of thing that this guy has. He's sort of got like a visor, like a pair of glasses, or I'm not sure, it's almost like he's wearing his mask. So I can draw this if I want first, or not. What I'm going to do is, I'm not even going to draw it first. I'm just going to make a little notch for his nose. Remember, this is the folded side. And then I'm going to come out here and cut a shape like that. It means that when I open it up, I've got a cool, oh, that's great, that'll work right there. Now this time, instead of punching through, I'm just going to cut right through the bridge of his nose, and I'm going to remove an eye area. Hey, I know I'm going fast. There's so much I want to show you. I hope I don't frustrate you by going too fast, but anyway, here we are with that. Now I can shape this one too. Let's just set that gently out of the way. I can get my pen, I'll go in the back, and I'll figure out where I'm going to shape and bend this. Let's go up there like that. I'm pressing down really hard once again, trying to make a crease in my paper. And we'll kind of do a mirror image of it over here too. Pressing down really hard. Make sure you have something soft underneath there. You really need to have some room for that pen to bore its way into the paper. So what can I do with that? Well, let's bend that and mold that just like we did that first piece. Wow, look at that. Okay, so I'm getting this three-dimensional edge. If it doesn't work out for you the first time, keep trying. I failed the first couple of times I did this till I got a little bit better at doing it. It just takes a little bit of feel for it, but stick with it and you will do some marvelous things. Just, you can't even believe that paper would bend that way. I mean, it's really, really neat. So, since I've got that line that I did with my pen, now I've got this cool looking three-dimensional like mask sort of thing. I can always change my mind. What if I decide to fold it here where his nose hooks on a little bit? I could put a little bend there, and I could put a little bend there. Make it, ooh, that's great. Make his nose stick out. Let's take that again, and we'll figure out where that's going to go. I could do another hole there. I don't know how I'm going to stick that on here. I guess I might need help from my stapler. And it's just a great thing to have around, the stapler, when you do these. Let's see if I can staple him on here. So this is a mask I could really see out of, but I don't always make eye holes. I don't really worry about that too much. I can always stick a hole in it later, I guess. Maybe that's it. Okay, he's looking great so far. Oop, get back there. Okay. When you do a mouth, sometimes I just grab it right here and, notch it. You don't have to do much. Stick a little mouth in there. Like that. I got his nose on crooked. Oh well, you get the idea. Okay, he looks terrific. Let's do a shape for his mustache, I guess. Same thing. I'm holding on so I get like a double image. This is the fold side again, so I'm going to have like a double mustache. Hey, this time I'm going to squiggle it around a little bit like that. Okay, get kind of a squiggle. I think I'll copy that squiggle on the other side. See what I've done there? I've got kind of a curvy line. So here we go again with my pen. I'm going to try to make my pen line go right down through the middle of that squiggly shape and copy the shape of the paper. Like that. And like that. Okay. And that is going to let me, since I've got that hard line that I scored into the paper, sure enough, here I go again. I'm going to make a squiggly line, a curvy paper shape. It's going to be kind of tough to pinch that little bit right there. I can do it. I know I can do it. There we go. Okay. Put it all together. Fantastic. So there's his mustache if I want it to be, or there's his beard if I want it to be. I think I'm going to, yeah, I like the mustache idea, so maybe I'll make another notch here and see if I can get a mustache stuck in. Are you getting the idea? I hope so. There are so many different ways to make your paper bend using this method, and he's already looking pretty good. I'll show you one more thing. It's like the beard of this fellow right here. Here's what I did there. I cut out, here again I'm holding on to the folded side so I always get a mirror image of my whatever I cut out. So let's make this into a quilled beard, and I'm going to go with lines. This time I'm going to do it while it's folded, and I'll show you why, because if I make a series of hard lines here, that line that I'm doing is going to so I'm scoring the little beard section that I've got like that. Can you see how I did that? So I want that to kind of be on the back. This is kind of a tricky one to do, but it's really fun. So I can make one row go out. I can pull the other row back in. I'll put the next row out. Squeeze it down really good, and the next row in. Okay. Ta-da! What a terrific beard that would make for my new guy here that we're doing. Okay, well that's enough of those white ones. On my cat and other masks that I show you, I didn't do that much paper sculpture on them. I had an idea about what I wanted to do with the cat, but I did do a couple of things. First of all, I made some cat ears, just cut out a circle. This is kind of an easy one, just cut a circle out, notch it into the center, and bring it around like that to make a terrific ear. Okay, it would also make kind of a good muzzle if I was going to do like a muzzle area, like like the front of his face. That would be neat. For my blue mask in construction paper, what I did was cut out here's the blue mask. I cut out a little piece of pink construction paper to kind of serve as like the bottom part of his face that's showing through there. So I also did that on one of my other masks that I showed you at the beginning of the program here. But I'll stick that on, and then I've got like can you imagine that? Like this is where his eyes are, and this is his superhero face sticking out. Here's the mask that I just cut out that I'm going to put on. I did that the same way, but with a blue piece of paper. And it's up to me whether or not I want to try to put some 3D effects. Sure, why not? As long as we're here, let's form that with a pen line, and we'll make our kind of a superhero character have like a folded mask here, just by pressing down hard like that, and then bending this where the pen line went. Takes a little patience and a little practice, but you'll get it if you stick with it. I know you will. And I'll bend that along there. Now that corner may need to get a fold right there. Let's see. I think maybe it might need to get a point. Yeah, okay. And we'll stick that. Keep moving that around here. Form that together. Okay, and so that would be a great way to start my superhero guy. So I could have had eyes that were cut out in my mask beforehand, but sometimes it's fun to, you know how your superhero can have white eyes. I don't know why their eyes are white. It's like they have like glowing eyes. Take a little piece of paper and stick it behind there and make it look like your superhero has, white eyes instead of just normal eyes. Stick that on. I could also make this into sort of a bat-like character, I guess, if you know who I'm talking about. If I stuck some ears on him. Let's do that real quick here. Different piece of blue. So if I wanted to turn him into a bat fellow. Let's see. Yeah, okay. And so I could get some, cool bat ears going up there for him. About his mouth, you don't have to do much there either. Let's just put a little, these bat people don't smile much. Maybe that's about as big a smile as you'll ever get out of him. And we'll stick that on. And so that's a good way to do that sort of mask. Thinking a minute about this guy here, he's got a lot of similarities to the last one that we did. I started off with my regular white mask, and then I did what I just showed you with the this fella right here, except this one's got some of the foil touches, and the foil is really no different than making the white paper or anything else. If I want to do a carbon copy of, well, let's make a mask for him here, and I'll hold on to the folded side again, and let's see, I'll do one with kind of those like wing shapes that I showed you on my green guy. This time I'm gonna cut out some like little wing-like things. I don't know what they are. They're just wings. Okay. So, open that up, and I've got a neat, I could turn this guy into some kind of a cool, I don't know who he is. The gold paper and the foil paper tends to be kind of delicate, so watch it. I don't draw on top of it because it always makes a mark from the back. So here we go with that. Very cool. And then I could, sure, why not? I could come on the back here and make some lines so that I can fold my paper. I try to do the same thing on both sides. Remember to press down hard, and you'll get it. I think this time I'm going to make his nose kind of bend up on purpose, so I'm going to put a little dent there. Okay, let's turn it over, and sure enough, we can bend that. Boy, the foil paper, if you get down there to Hobby Lobby or wherever you find it, it's really worth it. It's really fun to work with. It's just got kind of a magical, kind of cool look about it when you start to fold it and shape it. Just really, really fabulous looking stuff. And then this time I'm going to bend that in. That's where I made my line. And I can stick him on. And wow, he just looks awesome. Or maybe it's a girl. Hey, who knows? Okay, that's going to end the first part of our video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. We'll see you for the second part of our mask making video, where we show you how I did some of these, and then I'll give you a peek at my upgraded version that I just built, and see you then for mask making part 2 in Mr. Shay's art room.